Yeah. Travel rap. Skip. You go. Travel rap. Yeah. Travel rap. Yeah. It's the Travel Rap Podcast.
What's really good, people, and welcome to the Travel Rap Podcast, the place where the art of storytelling meets the world of travel. I am your host, Frank Nitt, and for today's episode, we're going to do a special J Dillas edition, and for today's destination, we're going to Clinton Township, Michigan, which is where Dilla had his home studio, and we recorded Mcnasty Filth. And that's what this story is all about, the recording of Mcnasty Filth. So, I got to set up the early part of this before I get into the meat and potatoes. So, basically, there was a deal struck between JayLib and Dilla and Stone Store Records to do the JayLib project, right? So, JayLib got beats from Dilla first, and after the deal was struck, he sent beats. Now, if you ever heard about JayLib and getting beats from JayLib, it's crazy, and you'll hear another story about that later on. But he gives you an abundance of beats, like literally hundreds of beats, if given the opportunity. And at the time it was CDs, so he'll give you 3 or 4 CDs filled with beat, like he's a phenomenal. Just his production is crazy, and not the beats. The beats is crazy, but the production of how much he makes so much music. But at any rate, so what happened was Dilla calls us over, and me and Dank go to the studio out at his house, and he said, "Okay, I got these beats from JayLib. We're gonna listen to some beats. We're gonna vibe out and just kick it, and just find one that maybe works for all of us." And we'll make it happen, right? So we sit there for hours, because again, he sends a lot of beats, so we there for hours, just listening to beats, banger after banger after banger. It's woo, that's crazy, and the head nods and all that. We go through all that, right? And by the time we get to the Mcnasty Filth beat, it's later in the day, and it comes on, and we head nodding. But we kind of in the zone, so we ain't really say it wasn't no woo, and no real crazy reaction like that. And for Dilla, that's the challenge, and he was like, "Okay, this the one we doing." And we was like, "But we passed 40 crazy choice we could do. This is crazy, but there's 40 other ones. But no, this the one we gonna do." And at this point, when we made records, it would be Dilla would make the beat or have the beat. In this case, the beat would be there. He would put it up, and he had taught me how to work in the studio to record vocals for me and Dank and have it set up so that in the morning he could actually mix the record. That's what he liked to do. He liked to come down and have the morning lettuce and mix the record, right? So he set the beat up, and he went upstairs, and he said, "Yeah, when I come down, y'all should have a song." I really don't think he thought we would finish. I really thought, he would come back down and it wouldn't be a finished record. I think that's what he thought was going to happen. But me and Dank knocked it out. All our parts, right? From the sub-chorus and the verses and everything. We did everything. So when he came down and pressed play, he didn't expect to hear all of this. And he heard it, and he was like, man, I got to write all these raps now? All right. And he kind of got mad, and he put us out. He put us out. He put us out the studio. Usually we hang out, whatever. He said, "Hey man, I'm gonna get with y'all later. Y'all got to go." And he sat and he wrote his verses to the snares and did all these different things. But then he took our verses and broke them up himself. So the splits, the 4-bar splits that we have, that was kind of after the fact. He did that after the fact. We had laid him in full. I think we laid him in 8s, a Frank and a Dank, a Frank and a Dank, a Frank, and then he broke it all up, right? And then moved the vocals around and kind of made it what it was vocally, right? So, but we made him mad on Mcnasty Filth because, I think he thought he was gonna put the challenge in front of us, and maybe we wasn't gonna get all the way to it, and we was gonna have to figure it out the next morning. But when he got there, it was kind of all done except for what he needed to do. So he got a little mad at us. So there you have it. That's the making of Mcnasty Filth. It turned into a classic record for us that we still perform to this day and running around. Shout out to my brother Dank. Shout out to Madlib, the Stones Throw folks, and of course big shout out to my brother Dilla, and it's a Travel Rap Podcast. The boy Frank Nitt, Dilla edition. Peace.
Yeah. Travel rap. Skip. You go. Travel rap. Yeah. Travel rap. Yeah. It's the Travel Rap Podcast.